Hey, bestie. Hey, bestie. We haven't been posting for a really long time. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Oh, no, it doesn't. But we're gonna start posting anyways. But yeah, hello, it's Athena. And today we're here to force me to learn Korean, or at least continue learning Korean. I want to force myself to pick up Korean again, but in a fun way. Of course, fun means a lot of different things to different people. But to me, this means that I'm gonna read Korean webtoons. That's how I'm gonna learn Korean. That's how I'm gonna pick up new words. And so far so good, honestly. There are some troubles, but I'm gonna talk about that later. But basically, how we're gonna learn through reading Korean webtoon is that I find a webtoon on Naver webtoon in Korean, like the original website, and then I find a translated version of the same web and I put it on the screen, like side by side, and I read the webtoon on the Korean side. I read it out loud, and then when there's something like a phrase, a term that I don't understand, then I'll read it out loud a couple more times to make sure that I don't understand it, because sometimes it's really just the phrasing. So then I'm like, oh, okay, this is a word, something like that. But yeah, so if I actually don't understand the word, then I'll go to the English version and I'll scroll, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, this is the meaning. That's not it though. So that's how I get to know the actual definition, because I am supposing the people that translated it know the context and they know the language, so then they'll be able to translate it in context. And then, but the thing is, you want to learn the term, you want to learn the vocab. So what I am doing, will do, and what I did is that I take out my phone, and then if you go to the Papago app, then there should be, like at the very bottom, a study camera thing, and then you just use the camera to scan the picture of the dialogue that you don't understand, and then it will give you the definition of each word, like each term. And so of course sometimes it doesn't work if it's I guess slang or whatever. So occasionally it doesn't work, but it works most of the time. And that's also why the English translated version of the webtoon is super important, because it makes sure that the thing that you're copying makes sense, like it's within the same context, it translated correctly, because you know how wonky some translators are sometimes, So yeah, that's how you get to learn the definition of the specific word that you don't understand. So that's what I did for 5 episodes of this webtoon called 커플브레이커, and I basically wrote down all the Korean phrases that I don't know, and then I put it on onto papago and stuff like that. And then I write down the translation of the word. And sometimes I write it down in Chinese because hanja exists, I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, hanja exists. So then sometimes it sounds more similar to the Cantonese word. Like let's say isa, or something like that. It means it's yisai in Cantonese, which sounds very similar, So, and it's like the same word. So I understand Chinese version and stuff, like it can help me. So I copied down everything, and then this is all that I've learned in the episode 1, which also gives me a very proud progress thing. That's like, oh, in the entire webtoon, he only really needed to search up all these stuff, That's a good indication, it's very encouraging. But also, after copying all these down, I'll type it up on my laptop on my Excel sheet, which has all of my Korean vocabs written down. And then in the Excel sheet, I'll paste it onto my memrise flashcards thing that I can, for me to, do flashcard exercise. So then I can actually have these words ingrained in my head instead of just like learning the words and then kind of like throwing it away. Yeah. And so, yeah, this is the list. And then down there, I also wrote like a little episode description because I was planning on talking about the series in these kind of videos, which I feel like I might still do, but I'm gonna do all of these summary in this video. So like all 5, I was gonna do like episode per episode. So every episode I will talk about what happened and then I'll give the words. But then, yeah, so here's what the trouble was. The problem was that the first episode was an absolute hook. I loved it. I was fangirling over it. In the video that I filmed previously, I was absolutely head over heels over the series. I'm like, okay, let me just tell you about what is the series. This series starts with the introduction of the show. It's like a trailer for a show called Couplebreaker. It's a survival shows for couples. It's basically like you go on the show as a couple and then you switch partners and y'all exchange different levels of physical affection, stuff like that. And then if you are still a couple and you're not being tested by these kind of seduction and whatever, then you win and you win a prize, like, and stuff like that. So that's what it starts with. And then it goes into introducing this really cool girl. Her name is Yang Tae-rin. So she's this, I think, fashion major. And she's really cool. She's literally perfect. Cool is just literally the definition of her. She's perfect, except she's a little clumsy. Something that she says a lot is like, it's hip or something like that. Yeah. And she's super cool. She's really pretty. And then she lives with her boyfriend. And her boyfriend is also really good looking. Her boyfriend is called Chu Kyung-mo. And they got a new neighbor. And this neighbor is called Bong Yun-sik. But the funny thing is, Bong Yun-sik has a girlfriend called Gongjua. Oh, that sounds like princess. Anyways, Gongjua is a girl that bumped into Tae-rin that day. She's like I was gonna say Kohai. She's an underclassman of Tae-rin, the main girl, and because Tae-rin is such a social butterfly, she's really, really good with people. She's literally perfect, right? And so Tae-rin greeted her as they bumped into each other, and then Jua, she got really flustered, and so she ran away. But she actually I think she really respects Tae-rin, and she even talks about her a lot. Yeah, but she was so flustered that she ran away, and then she was feeling really bad about it. And then the neighbors moved in, and then Tae-rin, she had this internal monologue of, "Oh, new neighbors! I'm so excited! I hope we can have a good relationship." And then there's a narration of, "And then we have a really special relationship." And then there's a time skip to the survival show where they introduce the couples in the survival show. And it's Yang Tae-rin with Bong Yun-sik. So it's the cool girl with the new neighbor, and then the other couple is like the partners of these people. So yeah, basically the couples swapped partners during these few months that we have seen, like between the moving and the show. And so, and then it goes into how did this happen, I think, yeah. And then it goes into how did this happen, something like that. And I just feel like it's such an interesting hook, it's such an interesting concept, you know, because like there's always these cliches, right? And I feel like if it's a cliche for this show, like survival show setting, then it will be like, you know, two people that have hated each other and they have to do a survival show together, something like Our Beloved Summer. I feel like that might be a cliche, even though I love Our Beloved Summer. But that's a cliche. But I feel like this is such a new concept, and I'm like, yo, that's really good. Yeah, and I'm super hooked. And it really pulls you into thinking like, oh, so how did this whole switch goes into, and you don't even, I feel like I don't even know how this will progress, because it's like, so will the couples go back into the previous couples, you know, like Taerin with the other guy, with Gyeongmo, and then Jua with Yoonsik, you know, like how is it gonna go? I have no idea. And so I'm just like so psyched to read this. Yeah, but anyways, so this is the gist of episode 1, and I'm planning to read 1 episode per day, maybe. As you can see from a previous video, or like the clip just now, I was super into the webtoon and everything, and then I was planning on doing like 1 episode per, you know, video upload and stuff, but I couldn't wait, so then I went straight into reading the 2nd episode, and I still did like the studying stuff, but the thing is, the story wasn't developing at a pace where I feel like I can give a whole summary on just like in a video. So then I was just kind of continuing on, and then I later realized that I don't like this story so much. It's nothing on the story, it's just that the second female lead is just super annoying. So then even though I kind of want to carry on through just to, you know, finish this challenge or know what happens, but the fact that this story is only up to like 20 episodes at the moment, I don't think we're gonna go that far, like in terms of storyline. And yeah, I absolutely hate the second female lead. Let me just give you a recap for episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. Basically, over these couple of episodes, in episode 2, we get a backstory of when Taerin and Gyeongmo were still together. Gyeongmo is still together, like super sweet stuff. And there's kind of this, like they were planning their future together. They were planning to have like a shopping mall thing. But at the same time, there's like this slight undertone where Taerin is maybe not the most sensitive in terms of being able to be aware of maybe her boyfriend's needs, but this isn't something that's very obvious, and it's just like a very subtle like thing, which may contribute to them breaking up. So then in episode 3, we get to see the encounter of both of the couples to their partners. So basically, you know how Jua and Gyeongmo got together, right? So then at the very beginning of the episode, they bumped into each other, like quite physically. And then in at the very end, I think near the end, Taerin and Yoonshik had basically like a super bad encounter, and that started their bad blood. And even by the end of episode 5, they're still having bad blood. It's not on Taerin's side, it's just that Yoonshik really hates her, or just have bad feelings, bad impression on her. So yeah. So episode 3 is about their encounter. Episode 4 is Jua really admires Taerin to the point where I feel like she wants to become Taerin. This episode is mostly about how Taerin and Jua got to be friends and they were hanging out, but you can see that she begins to imitate like her speech pattern and stuff. So basically Taerin has this habit of saying hit for literally everything, like basically saying like, oh, this is so swag, but she say it as like hit, and that's how she compliments everything. And she starts doing that, and then the chapter ends with Taerin introducing a pub to her, to Jua. But that's kind of like a secret spot of hers, and she also come to this pub with her boyfriend. And then it pans to her narrating that she regrets telling her about the pub, and Jua and Gyeongmo kissed. In episode 5, Jua continues to idolize and try to copy Taerin's action. She is so influenced by Taerin that when Jua... Oh, yeah. Like, Jua continues to idolize and try to copy Taerin's action. She's so influenced by Taerin that when Jua heard about Taerin's boyfriend who got good style and stuff, she wanted her boyfriend to do the same. Like, she was, I was gonna say pressure, but that's just me being negative about her. Like, she didn't really pressure him. She was like, Yoonshik, like, have you never thought of like dressing yourself up? Like, she basically had that tone. But it's not like pressuring, it's just not being super nice about the whole thing. I really feel bad for Taerin because she, like, from these 5 episodes, it shows that maybe her flaw is that she's not that, you know, she's not very sensitive to other people's feelings, maybe, like her boyfriend. Like, she is very caring and she's very considerate, but maybe if someone's like too tired and she's very hyper, like, she might not be able to detect the fatigue, something like that. Yeah, so but other than that, she's a super kind person. She really wants to take care of Jua. Like, she realized that Jua was this old she used to be a singer, and then Jua wants this to be a secret and stuff, and she really understands it, and she's just like a super nice person. But like, because Jua's change in behavior of wanting herself to be skinnier and prettier and stuff like that, along with her obsession with Taerin, Jua's boyfriend Yoonshik thought that these are all Taerin's influence, like direct influence, because they're technically influenced by Taerin because of Jua's obsession. But Yoonshik thought that Taerin was the person who told Jua to do all these stuff, which is not. Taerin's like totally innocent, you know. Yeah, which honestly I would say it's Jua's fault, because from the very beginning of the series, she has been having all these very negative self-talk. Like, she was literally an idol. Her song was a hit. Her boyfriend kept telling her that she's really cute, but she just kept saying that she's ugly, you know, she's too fat, her not seeing her own beauty, different things like that. That's most likely why she wants to be the exact replica of Taerin, because Taerin is the embodiment of everything that she wants to be. Yeah, which is like understandable, so-called understandable, but it's not something that I enjoy reading. I don't agree with it. It's really toxic. It's really annoying. It gives me like pick me girl vibes. Like, I'm not saying that these problems are not valid. It's totally valid, and I feel like I've experienced something similar in the past, but I just don't like reading about stuff like these. So, yeah. Basically, overall, I have learned to actually, like, so yeah, this is the summary, and also why I probably won't be continuing the series. But the whole rant about the webtoon in itself is over, and now let's just talk about this method of learning so far. So this is a review of my thoughts a week in, maybe not even, like half a week into using this method of learning. So basically, I would say it's super fun. Maybe not when the webtoon is a little frustrating, but I would say it's a lot more fun than, you know, just like reading textbooks and stuff like that. And also, like, I feel like my biggest takeaway is that first off, it forces me to actually read things in Korean and process them, instead of, you know, when I'm watching a K-drama, I would use it as an excuse to, you know, absorb Korean, but in reality I would just really be reading the subtitles. So then by forcing yourself, by you wanting to read things and know what they're talking about, you actually have to cognitively process the words. So yeah, that's super helpful. And then also, it's a very big encouragement for me to know that, oh, I actually do know more words than I think I did, because sometimes I will be scrolling through like an episode and there aren't all that much words that I need to write down, you know. So it's very encouraging. And yeah, there are more colloquial phrases, because one of the biggest issue of when you're learning Korean or just learning a language through internet, like website or textbook, it's very easy for you to learn things in like a super formal way, and also not knowing the slangs and things like that. So being able to read these things make it like helps with familiarizing myself with these kind of more casual, actual real life speech pattern. And last but not least, a lot of terms that I wouldn't really see in textbooks, I would feel like, you know, like in the recent episode of episode 5, there's this term called 자국적인 or 자국적인, something like that, and it means provocative. And there's also the other, yeah, sobwa, that's like sipngoy, which means like casting, or like I think being involved in stuff. Liaison. Yeah, I didn't write that term down because I don't understand what that English term means. But anyways, yeah, so these words are things that I feel like wouldn't normally appear in textbooks. So yeah, it helps with branching out to a different variety of terminologies, so you aren't just always seeing, you know, like umbrella, banana, water bottle, like things like these, which yes, they are indeed in your reality, but also like when you get to more like random topics, you might not know any terminologies. So yeah, overall, wrap up of the recap: good at learning colloquial phrases, registers, stuff like that. It's also good at learning terminologies, very good at encouraging yourself and knowing where you are in learning the language by seeing how long your list is. And just interesting because you get to pick your own series. It's just that I had a bad luck when it comes to reading this book. But in the middle of reading all the Korean stuff like that and translating stuff, I got really tired. So then I took a break by reading this series that I was reading in Chinese. And then I found the Korean version of it. Because the Korean version got a lot more episodes, because that's, you know, the original version. So then I kind of caught up to the series by reading the Korean one. But I just I read everything without translating anything, using, you know, translators like Papago or Google Translate. So I was fully reading it just through context clues and the words that I know. And then I feel like even though I don't get to officially learn the words, I still got to absorb things because I have to think harder about what things means. And also, that's basically how I learned English. Like, I learned English using Wattpad. You can judge me all you want, but I learned English using Wattpad, and it's facts. My English improved so much because I was reading a lot of Wattpad every single day. And what I did was just that I read Wattpad, and then when there are words I don't know, I just kind of guess, and because of the context clues and everything, you usually can guess what it means and stuff. So yeah, I would just say that that's what worked for me, and what I feel like, even though you're still taking a break, you're still forcing yourself to work, even though it's not like as hard. I hope it makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break now because I'm really tired. It's like 10. I don't know why I'm doing this. But yeah, that's my method of learning. And even though I feel like I'm gonna switch series, I'm really glad that I am starting this method of learning Korean, and I hope that this can encourage you to also do the same. And I will shut up now. Yeah, but if you're interested in my journey of learning Korean stuff, or if you by any chance enjoy me talking, then I got more videos in the channel. Just look in the description box or look in my channel. Subscribe if you wanna, like if you wanna. If you do that, then you're cool. If you don't do that, then you're not. Basically, that's it. Bye. Here are the words that I've learned. I've learned 한낮. It means midday. Whoever knew? You know? And then 식탁 is dining table. 얼려, is it 얼려? Yeah, 얼려 is post. 이사 is 이사이, move. 작곡 is 작곡, which means composing. I guess this, honestly, I think all the ones with the Chinese, I was able to guess the translation, but I feel like it's still a good thing to just like note these down. I can't speak. Note these down to just know and learn the vocab. 종종. Okay, this one I'm a little confused, but apparently it means often / sometimes. Because it sounds like a hanja, but the hanja is 종종, and we say type. like any kind, like kind, yeah. So that's a little weird. But you know what? Sometimes that happens. So who cares? 시절 is 시기. Like period of time, something like that. Iot is no, iot is neighbor. 타오르다 is ablaze. 욕 is 역경. No, 욕경 is 역경. Yikgang. I can't even speak Chinese. A mess. Yokgyong is yikgang, which means like against the situation. Like, I don't really know how to translate this. It's like a situation that goes against you. And 해지다 is hoy, which means like harm. Yeah. Those are the terms that I've learned. Now I'm gonna continue studying. This is so hard. I've not studied Korean for so long, but I hope that by the end of the summer, I'm gonna be a lot better. But that's it for now. I'll see if I put another video with this or what. And also I have some videos that's like in my backup, but I don't really want to post them. I feel like those are just completely rant videos where it's not interesting, but it's about how I'm home, but I'm literally suffering. It's about my allergy after coming home, but there's literally no content in that. It's just me rambling. And then there's another video which is me talking about, I forgot which show, but it was a show that it's about another webtoon that I've read. It's called Secret Playlist, and it's super good, and I basically did a rant about it because it is super good, but it doesn't seem to be that popular of a series. So yeah, if anyone's interested in me talking about those, then maybe I'll upload them, but just let me know. I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch this, but I'm just publishing it. I can't speak. I'm just publishing this so that I can force myself to actually commit to learning things. And if these look old, it's just because this apartment is a really old one. But that's about it for today's video, or not, if I decide to put another, like, squeeze another episode in here. But anyways, if you like me talking or giving you content-ish, or if you want to keep me in track in learning Korean and or something like that, whatever the reason, if you like my content, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It will help me a lot, because I like making content. If you're cool, you'll make sure to subscribe. If you're not cool though, then you'll not subscribe. And you can also comment if you want to, but just don't be mean, because know that I am a Korean learner. I'm a learner. I'm still learning. You can give me suggestions nicely, but don't be mean. I'm still learning. Don't be discouraging. That's why I try not to talk to people because I'm scared of criticisms. So yeah, be nice. That's about it. I'll cut it here. Great day. Have a great day. Have a great night wherever you are, and bye.